I already told the syllabus of your first internals. Till yesterday, whatever the topics I have covered, that will be there for your internals. And today we are going to discuss case study and innovative question. So you all know what is case study and innovative question now, students. So case study means we give some particular case or particular problem. So on that, based on that problem, we ask some questions and you have to answer for those questions. That is case study. Innovative, a general problem statement will be given. So there you have to write your own solutions. You have to write your own solutions. Say for example, I'll ask you to create a class for online business. Create a class for online business. Then what you will write? What you will write, students? If I ask you to create a class for online business, you will create a class named business. So the attributes of a class. I'll create a class. Generally, for innovative question, what I say, create a class for online business. So I keep Flipkart in my mind. I keep Flipkart in my mind. I create a class for Flipkart. But you may assume JioMart as a online shopping. And you create a class for JioMart. Yes, is it right? So in innovative, what happens? We give a problem statement. Then each students will be writing a different answer in their own way. There is no necessary that you have to write a class. You have to write only you have to write class only for Flipkart, because Flipkart is also a online shopping portal. Flipkart is also an online shopping portal, and even JioMart, Ajio, Myntra, so many online shopping portals we have. So when we ask, generally create a class for online shopping, then each students may create a different class. I keep Flipkart in my mind and I create a class for Flipkart. One student may keep Myntra as a online shopping, and whatever the products are available, based on that student may create a class. What is the difference between Myntra and Flipkart, students? In Myntra, what is the difference between Myntra and Flipkart? In Myntra, you get only clothes, accessories, but in Flipkart you get even the groceries. Correct, no? Even the groceries also you get in Flipkart. Your clothes, accessories, mobile phone, and even you can book flight ticket also using Flipkart. Correct, no, students? Even you can book a flight ticket also using Flipkart. But if you see, both are online shopping portals only. Both are online shopping. Even in Myntra also you can do, even in Flipkart also you can do, even Ajio also you can do shopping. In Ajio also just you can Ajio also similar to Myntra only. There you will not get any grocery, you cannot book any airline tickets. But in Flipkart you can do, you can buy grocery, you can book airline ticket, and Reliance, they have introduced a JioMart. Till now you are getting, till 2-3 days before you are getting only the groceries there. Now they have also included a trends. In trends we have clothes. No, clothes also is available. So when I ask you to write a class for online shopping, shopping, then each students will be writing a different answers. Correct, no, students? Each students will be writing a different answers. So like these types of question I may ask in the test. So based on the question you have to answer for case study and innovative. Yes, I'll take attendance at the end. No need to message in the chat box. You'll be there, no, till the end of the class, or those who are messaging, they'll leave the class in between. Nayana, Harini, you want to leave the class in between, or you'll be connected till the end? When you attend class till the end, then why you are entering your attendance?
I will attend class. No, ma'am. I will
Okay.
attend, ma'am.
And today strength is very less, only 35, 36, 37 students are there. Yes, students, clear with the case study and innovative question? Case study question, I may take .NET framework architecture. Assume that .NET framework architecture I'm giving, and based on the architecture, I can ask you some questions. Then what happens? See, students, the difference between case study and innovative is, in case study, a same answer will be written by all the students, whereas in innovative, each students will be writing a different answer. They think in the innovative way. They try to add other functionality. They assume by the observation. They try to include different functionality or different features in the solution, whereas in the case of case study question, each students will be writing a same answer. Take a .NET framework architecture as an example. If I ask you to write, explain window presentation foundation, do we studied this in .NET framework architecture, students? Yes, we have seen Windows presentation foundation in the .NET architecture. What is the job of the Windows presentation foundation? What for we are using Windows presentation foundation? If I ask any question on this, then definitely all students will write the same answer. Maybe the way of writing will be different, but the answer will be same. What for it is used? For presentation. Using Windows presentation foundation, we create different GUIs, 2D images, or 2D images you can include in the 2D images. I can include in the program, and 3D images also I can include. I can also include videos, audio effect also I can include in the program. Or if I ask you case study question on the namespaces, which all the name, we have seen the list of namespaces, correct now, students? Using namespace, system, LINQ namespace, client namespace, collection namespace. What for these namespace are used? Using system. So system namespace is like your header file hash include stdio dot header file in your C program. Without including header hash include stdio dot statement, you cannot execute any C program, because that includes input output statement. Similarly, in C hash also, without including using system statement, you cannot execute any program, because that statement is, that namespace is very much important. With the help of that using system namespace, you can include input output statement, and you can include data types, variable, you can include variables, constants, all the exception handling, classes, objects, all those statements you can execute with the help of that using system namespace. If you want to execute drawing image, then we have a namespace using system.drawing. If you are executing any client server program, then we have a namespace using system.client. If we are executing any database program, then we have using system.linq we have, and we have using system.data. So based on the requirement, and based on the problem statement, we are going to include the namespaces in our program. Yes, I may ask any question on case study and innovative. These are some of the examples I have given. These types of questions you may get in your internals. Yes, you understood, no? See, when I ask a case study question on namespace, then each student will be writing the same answer, because a namespace data is used only to include any database program. A namespace drawing is used to include any drawing-based program. And in the .NET framework, window presentation, why we use window presentation foundation? To make the presentation attractive. And we also have Windows communication foundation in .NET framework. What is the use or what is the job of Windows communication foundation? Because to communicate within the processor, within the within this framework, what all the things are going to happen, we don't know. To communicate each other, suppose at a time, if I execute two program, if I execute two forms together, if I execute two forms together, then which form to execute first, which form to execute next, the communication should happen. Without communication, you cannot, the program will not execute. So everything will be taken care by this Windows Communication Foundation. There we have seen the layers also. Yes, student, do you remember this? Do you remember what we have seen? Respond. All of you remember what is Windows Presentation Foundation and Windows Workflow Foundation? Architecture, at least the diagram, architecture diagram. Yes, students, any doubt in case study and innovative question? So those types of questions you may get in your internals. And you don't have any choice in case study and innovative question, students. Yes, student, when I was explaining the .NET framework architecture, I have shown you three diagrams for architecture, three different diagrams for architecture. This is a diagram which is there in your prescribed book. This is a diagram which is there in your prescribed book. And this is the architecture diagram for .NET Framework 4.5. And this is also a .NET framework. Yes, students, if you Google in the internet for .NET framework architecture, you will get this diagram. In the internals, whether in the internals or in your external exam, you don't write this diagram, students. You write this diagram. This is this diagram is there in your prescribed book. You have to write this diagram. After my class, I'll share PPT of module 1 and module 2, and I'll share the notes also. In GCR, I'll share. And in GCR, I have already created a assignment folder. Then still many students, they are sending me the assessment to my mail ID. Please don't send to my mail. Send to that GCR only, GCR assignment. See the namespaces. We have so many namespaces. We have so many namespaces we have seen. The namespace system, it includes the essential classes, base class, and data types, events, handler, interfaces, attributes, exception handling, etc. But here, using the namespace system, you cannot execute array program, you cannot execute queue program, you cannot execute any hash table program. To execute these programs, you have to include system.collection in the C program. See here, this is the Windows Workflow Foundation. In Workflow Foundation, how the work is going to carry out. It includes 3 layers. And this is a presentation foundation. Yes, students, as I told, in the presentation foundation, you can display in .NET framework. You can display 2D images, 3D images, image effects, audio and video also you can display. And this is a communication foundation. This communication foundation has this also has some layers: contract layer, service runtime layer, messaging layer, and the host layer. So this is all Windows communication foundation. So any doubts, students? So in last class, what we were seeing inheritance and constructor. In last class, we were seeing inheritance and constructor, and I have explained you the program. I have demonstrated the program of inheritance and constructor, and we have also seen sealed class. What is sealed class? Yes, students, see, listen here. When you declare a class with sealed keyword, when you declare any class with sealed keyword, or when you declare any class with keyword, you cannot inherit that particular class. You cannot inherit the particular class. In yesterday's class, I have shown you the program. Students, do you remember which example I have shown you in last class? Why you people have decided not to respond for anything? Huh? You people have decided whatever questions she asked, we should not respond. Okay. Yes, students, can you see the screen? Can you see the Visual Studio screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
See here, the same example I have executed in yesterday's class. See here, I'll run now. I'll run the program now. Yes, students, before you run any program, you need to compile the program. That is, go to build solution, or you have a shortcut key F6. If you click F6, your program will be compiled. You can write down the shortcut key to compile the C# program is F6, or you have another option on the menu bar. You click on build. There you have a build solution option. If you click on there, if your program has any error, it will display the error. Now you run the program. When you run the program, it will display. Yes, students, here we are finding the area of a tank. What is the formula to find area of tank? What is the formula? 2 into pi into radius into height. So using this formula, we are calculating the area. See, student, now this is a class tank, and I have derived this class. Here, this is a derived class. This is a derived class. The parent class is, or the base class is tank, and the derived class is area of tank, and this is a constructor. How you can say constructor? It has same name as class, and it is a parameterized constructor. This we have seen in the last class only. Now what I do, I'll change this tank class to sealed class. Sealed class. Before it was not a sealed class, it was a normal class, and this normal class I have created. I have derived one more class. I have derived a child class. That is, the child class is area of tank, and now this class is sealed class. This class is sealed class. Build your program. Compile your program. When you compile your program, that time only you will get a error. Yes, students, can you see the error? You please zoom your mobile screen and you can see area of tank. Area of tank is a derived class. Cannot derive this. Cannot derive from sealed class, sealed type tank, because this tank is a sealed type. We have sealed it to avoid the access of this tank class. We have sealed that particular class with the help of sealed keyword. With the help of sealed keyword, we have sealed. You will get a error. It will not allow you to run this program because I have sealed the class. So this is the sealed class. And next we have extension method. Yes, students, extension method is used. So the first question is, what is the use of a extension method? Extension method is used to help. Extend means what? To enhance. Extend means to enhance. Extension method is a method that helps you to extend a class without creating a derived class or without modifying the original class. Without modifying the original class, you can include another method in the class. Yes, students, you can say that in a class we'll be having different methods. How we can differentiate a method with a extended method? A normal method with the extension method. Yes, students, the extension method will be having this keyword. Extension method will be having this keyword. Extension method. See here. Can you see? Yes, students, can you see this line? Now you may ask, what is the use of this extension method? In some situations, if you want to include one more class, one more method in the program, with the help of this extension method, you can include one more method, but that extension method will be having this keyword in the argument list. This extension method will be having this keyword. Yes, can you see this keyword, student? Yes. Can you see this keyword?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. This method is a extended method. Here, this is a demo. This is a demo. The class name is demo class. In the demo class, I have a extended method. I have a extended method. In the extended method, before the argument, now you can ask me how to differentiate a normal method and the extension method. How to differentiate? In the extension method, the argument lists will be preceded with this keyword. In the extension method, the argument list will be preceded with this keyword. Here I have this keyword. So here we are returning the string value. We are returning a string value. The string value we are returning. That is, with the help of this method, it will return. See here, students, 565. It is a number. 565. It is a number. But we are saying 565 is a number, but I have declared this as a string variable. Yes, students, I think you know that whatever we write within double quotes, that will be string. Correct, no? Is it right?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so whatever we write within string, whether it is number, whether it is character, whether it is name, so that will be treated as a string. Here we are displaying a string. So this is the extension method. How to differentiate the normal method and the extension method is, the argument list of the extension method will be preceded with this keyword. This is extension method. And next we have a polymorphism. This is very important concept in C hash. This is very important concept in OOPS. This is very important feature or very important concept in OOPS. The polymorphism. Poly means what? Poly means what? Many. So to find, so here in polymorphism, we'll get different methodology. We'll get different options. So this is one of the important feature in OOPS. This polymorphism is one of the important feature in OOPS. And this polymorphism is used to exhibit different forms of a particular procedure. This polymorphism is used to exhibit different forms of a particular procedure. How, what procedure will I'll tell you, and it allows you to invoke a method of a derived class through a base class reference during runtime, and it provides different implementation of methods in a class that are called through the same name. It provides a different implementation of methods. Okay, students. Okay. Here, in polymorphism, there are two types are there, that the compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. In polymorphism, there are two types are there, the compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism is also known as overloading. Compile time polymorphism is also known as overloading. Yes, students, see this point. It provides different implementation of method in a class that are called through the same name. Yes, students, in operator overloading, what we are doing? What is the use of operator overloading? What is the use of operator overloading? A same operator will be used to do a different task. For example, a same
But
operator.
different parameters, number of parameters.
Yes, the same addition operator you can use to add two numbers. The same addition operator you can use to add two complex numbers. The same addition operator you can use to add two strings. A same addition operator you can use to add two characters. So that is operator overloading. So here it provides a different implementation of method in a class that are called through same name. So here what we are calling with the same name, add, is assume that I have given a add as a method name for all this functionality. To add two numbers also I have given the method name add. To add two complex numbers also I have given the method name as add. To add two strings also I have given the method name as add. So with the same method name add, I am performing different tasks. To the same method name add, I am performing different tasks. What are the tasks? Addition of two numbers, addition of two complex numbers, addition of two strings. So different functionalities I am performing with the same name. So that is operator overloading. With the same operator I am performing different tasks. That is compile time polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism. Yes, students, here to this point here in this slide there is no space. No, that's why I have given this example here. Yes, you can see this example here. The class animal is a class and it is a base class. It is a base class, or you can say it as a parent class. You can say it as a parent class. And here what I am displaying is sorry, the method is animal sound. For this class of a parent class method is animal sound. Here what I am displaying, the animal makes a sound. Some statement I am displaying here. And see here, this is a derived class. Pig is a derived class and animal is a base class. Animal is a base class, or it is a parent class, and pig is a derived class. Here which method I am using? Animal sound method I am using. Correct? And here what I am doing, I am displaying the sound of pig. How the pig talks, how the pig says, what the pig says. And again I have one more derived class. The derived class is dog. and the base class is animal, and here I am using the same method. So this is how the polymorphism works. A same method is used used to perform a different task. Here I am displaying the voice of pig. Here I am displaying the voice of dog. You can include one more derived class, students. Class cat, class crow, class cow. So there you can you can display a different statement, but with the same method name. So this example we can take for overloading also. No, sorry. So this example, this is the polymorphism. With the help of the same method, we are performing different tasks. And in polymorphism, we have two types. Compile time polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism is also known as static polymorphism. Static polymorphism is also known as overloading. And the other type is dynamic polymorphism. Dynamic polymorphism is also known as runtime polymorphism. It is also known as runtime polymorphism, or it is overriding. That is, I have copy pasted, so I forgot to change here. This runtime polymorphism is also known as overriding. Compile time polymorphism is known as overloading. Runtime polymorphism is known as overriding. Runtime polymorphism is known as overriding. Again, in static polymorphism, in compile time polymorphism, we have three different types. In compile time polymorphism, we have three different types, which are any guesses? Method overloading, operator overloading, and indexer overloading. Yes, students, in compile time polymorphism, we have three types. In compile time polymorphism, we have three types or three categories, which are method overloading, operator overloading, and indexer overloading. This method overloading is common way of implementation of polymorphism. Yes, see this example. See this previous example here. What is the method I have taken? Method means what, students? Method is nothing but a function. What function I have taken here? In the base class, animal sound function I have taken. In the derived class also I have taken the same function. Is it right? And yes, even in the derived class also I have taken, in the next derived class also I have taken the same function. So just now I told this is the implementation of polymorphism. Yes, here with the help of this method I am displaying some message. Again, with the help of the same method, I am displaying the other message. Again, with the help of same method, I am displaying the other message. So this is the implementation of polymorphism. And here what I am saying, method overloading is a common way of implementing polymorphism. Yes, this is nothing but this method overloading. We are using the same method name for different task to display to display the sound of a pig also I'm using the same method. To display the sound of a dog also I'm using the same method. So method overloading is a common way of implementing polymorphism. It is the ability to redefine a function in more than one form. Yes, the same function we are using to display a different task. Is it right, students? A same method is used to display the different task. So this method overloading is the ability to redefine a function in more than one form. A user can implement function overloading by defining two or more function in a class by sharing the same name. Yes, are we doing the same thing here? Are we doing the same thing here? Yes, we are doing the same thing. A user can implement function overloading by defining two or more functions in a class by sharing the same name. This is a small code snippet I have taken. Here. What I am doing is the class is calculate. So here I am calculating something. Yes, students, I'm calculating something. What I'm calculating, I don't know what I'm calculating. Inside the class, we will see what we are calculating. But the class name is calculate. Here, add numbers. Yes, students, the method name is just to add numbers. Here, the method name I have not given add two numbers. Why? The reason we'll see in the next lines. So add numbers. We don't know how many numbers we have, but the parameter list contains two. The parameter list is having two. So the meaning is here we are adding two numbers. In this method, this is the first method. In this method, what we are doing, we are adding two numbers. We are adding two numbers. And what is this? Is it having the same name? Is it having the same name? Yes. Here I have another method with the same name. With the same name, I have another method. This is nothing but method overloading. To perform a different task, we are using a same method. But here I am adding three numbers. Yes, students, here I am adding three numbers. I am adding three numbers. I'm adding three numbers and I'm displaying here. Yes, a user can implement function overloading by defining more than one function in a class by sharing the same name. This is C. By sharing the same name, I'm implementing two different functions, and the output of both the functions are different, right, students? The output of first function is if A is equal to B, if A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, and C is equal to 3. The output of first function is 3. The output of second function is 6. Correct? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Yes, students. So this is method overloading. Yes, students, I told you in geeks.geeks you can see the demonstration of the program. Yes, here I have, you can see the geeks.geeks, geeks for geeks. Yes, students, can you see the screen?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Here, this is, wait, this example I'll show later because I forgot by what name I have saved that program. Operator, volume officer. Here only in geeks only I'll show. Yes, students, you can see. You can see the code. Yes, students, this is a demonstration of method overloading. See here. Here I have taken a method add. Method add. Here I am adding two numbers and here I am adding three numbers. Yes, you can see the output. You can see the output. Sum of two numbers is 3. Just now in the PPT I have demonstrated this. The sum of two numbers is 3 and the sum of three number is 6. The output is 3 and 6. See here. So just now I explained, just I am showing the demonstration. When you run this code, what will be the output? The sum of two numbers is 3 and the sum of three numbers is, or three integers is 6. See, a class GEF, geeks for geeks class, and here add is a method and this is also add method. And students, you can include one more method. You can include one more method, add int A, int B, int C, int D. So add addition of four numbers. Calculate the sum of four numbers. Calculate the sum of four numbers and you can display. Yes, this is how we demonstrate. This is how we demonstrate additional. This is how we demonstrate method overloading. So next we have operator overloading. Operator overloading. Okay, students, we have seen the lab program, operator overloading program. Using operator overloading, we were finding the sum of two complex numbers. Do you remember that? Yes, students, can you see this Word document? Can you see the Word document? Yes, here I'm demonstrating operator overloading. What see, overloading means what? Operator overloading means what? We are applying the same operator to perform different tasks. It may be addition of two numbers, addition of two complex numbers, addition of two strings. So here in this problem, what we are doing, we are adding two complex numbers. So what is a procedure or what is a method to apply operator overloading is public static class name operator keyword and the operator, addition operator, subtraction operator, any operator you can overload. Here I'm overloading addition operator and the argument list So we are overloading addition operator to add two complex numbers. To add two complex number, we are using addition operator. Yes, students, understanding of this is operator overloading. In other programming languages also, you have seen how the operator overloading works. Here, with the help of this addition operator, we are overloading addition operator. And in compile time polymorphism, you can also overload indexer. How to overload indexer? I'll show here. What is indexer, students? What is indexer? The class we are representing with the array index. That is indexer. Here, yes, students, here you can see this example. This is an example for indexer overloading. Here I have declared a string class. I have declared a string variable. I have declared, and the maximum size of a string is 2. 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. And here, what is this? What is this, students? Properties. This is indexer property. In indexer property, I have get and set method. In the get method, with the help of get method, we return the value. With the help of set method, we assign the value. And here, I am displaying two variables. I am displaying two values. So here I have taken, I am displaying two values, that is integer value and string value, float value. Integer value and float value we are displaying. So I have taken two variables, two properties. Wait, I'll show the execution of this program. See here, the output is hello geeks. And see here, students, in the first property I have taken integer variable, and in the second property I have taken float variable. The array index value of this property is integer and the array index value of this property is float. See here, if you observe, this is obj is an object of this class. Obj is an object of this class, hello geeks class, and obj0 is a index value of first property here. Can you see here? Yes, students, can you see here? Here I am displaying the string value size value is 2, and here the array index I have taken integer value, and the array index I have taken float value. With the help of indexer, we are displaying the value. Obj of 0 is this integer value, obj of 1.0 is float value. First value is hello and second value is geeks. So two values we are displaying. So if you have any doubt in this indexer overloading, in next class one more example I'll explain, student. At least you are clear with the method overloading and operator overloading. Do you have any doubt in method overloading and operator overloading? Respond. Any doubt in method overloading and operator overloading? Students, I'm sharing the assessment link in the chat box. All of you attend the assessment. Answer attendance. Students, in next class we'll see runtime polymorphism. Answer attendance. 1, 1, 2, 3.
2.
Oh, sorry. 2, 3, 3, 4,
Yes, ma'am.
5,
Present, ma'am.
6,
Present, ma'am.
7,
Yes, ma'am.
8,
Yes, ma'am.
9, 10.
Yes, ma'am.
Why Divyesh is not attending class? Where he is? Tell him to call me, no? Amit, tell Divyesh to talk to me. Gaurish,
Yes, ma'am.
Gautami, Even this girl is absent from so many days. Gunashekar,
Present, ma'am.
Harini,
Yes, ma'am.
Surya,
Present, ma'am.
Nayana,
Yes.
Nazma,
Present, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Nidhi,
Present, ma'am.
Pradeep, Preeti,
Present, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Rajesh,
Present, ma'am.
Sahadev,
Present, ma'am.
Saket,
Present, ma'am.
Santosh,
Present, ma'am.
Seema,
Yes, ma'am.
Sinchana,
Present, ma'am.
Spurti,
Present, ma'am.
Shashank,
Present, ma'am.
Varsha, Yashashwini, Varsha,
Present, ma'am.
Varsha, Varsha is not there. Amruta, Anusha,
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Apurva, Siddharth, 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 Chetana,
Present, ma'am.
Kavya,
Present, ma'am.
Madhu,
Present, ma'am.
Manish,
Present, ma'am.
Sarfraz,
Present, ma'am.
Murgesh, Murgesh,
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Mani,
Present, ma'am.
Paresh,
Present, ma'am.
Pooja,
Present, ma'am.
Reddy,
Present, ma'am.
Pratibha, Pratik, Pratibha is absent.
Present, ma'am.
present.
Okay, okay, okay. Sadhana,
Present, ma'am.
Shashank, Shraddha, Shashank Gilva. Shashank is absent. Shraddha, Shraddha is not there. Sridhar,
Present. Present, ma'am.
Tanuj,
Present, ma'am.
Tejaswini,
Present, ma'am.
Umehani,
Present, ma'am.
Ashish, Vidya,
Present, ma'am.
Illala, Vishal,
Present, ma'am.
Ma'am, Vidya present.
okay. Students, from Monday you have internals. So this time we have case study and